can start now.
Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are SCM Consulting. We're very honored to be here today to present to you with our strategy for the visa in the future. First, please let me introduce my team members. This is Liang Xuechen, this is Fu Ning, Wang Yueheng, and my name is Chen Kai. Okay. And our theme today for visa is from a duopolist to a leader. And how we're going to make this, we're going to just illustrate it later right now. The objective for the firm in the future is to become the leader of the EPS industry with the leading position in not only the card numbers and the market share, but also the business revolution and idea development. The agenda today is first we're going to introduce you the background, and then we're going to illustrate our recommendations, and then we'll just give a very brief analysis on the timeline, financials, and finally we'll have a conclusion. First, let's move into the background part. It's beyond any doubt that Visa has built up a very splendid empire in the EPS industry in the past 50 years. Actually, first we have the widest network. We have present in over 200 countries around the world, and also we have a very good experience in system because we've been running for over 50 years actually. And we also have the biggest market share right now because we have the first in the payment amount we're number one, and we're number two in the card numbers. But we're not we don't have a very big difference with the first one. So actually we're just playing very well right now. But nowadays we're facing some troubles. The first one is the China issue. Because you know China is the biggest company with the great potential and also a lot of opportunities. But right now we are not allowed to compete in the China market. So how are we going to enter the market? And secondly is we have a very great competitor right now, which used to be our partner, is the CUP. And what's our relationship with the UP in the future is something we have to solve in the future. And the second big issue would be the issue that globally. First, we are facing a lot of the antitrust lawsuit right now, which might cause a very big cost for the company. And also we're facing severe competition with the UP and also MasterCard, a lot of competitors. And lastly, we have market share of our companies dropping basically due to the competition and also the antitrust, because we are charging a higher fee compared with our competitors, and that might be a very important thing for us to solve in the future. And lastly, we want to talk about future. Because the future, the current business world is evolving very rapidly, and we have to catch the future trends so as to keep our leading position. And so we're thinking about whether we have to make some product expansion or business expansion, and also even the business model revolution. So this is key issues we're facing right now. And how we're going to still become leader in the future? I would rather recommend us to look back into the KSF for the industry. And for the EPS industry, we believe the best EPS provider will have the first, it's easy for the customer to use this service, and also it's safe and very efficient. And how we're going to catch this KSF? We must have the best, the widest network, the best technology, the best the experience to provide the service, and also we have to get a lot of partners so as to move the whole industry moving forward. And how we're going to catch this for? We believe that being the first one is the thing that we have to do in the first place. Only become the first one, then you have the opportunity to have the best network. And being the first one, you're going to catch the best technology, and also you're going to accumulate the most best experience, and also you're going to get a chance to cooperate with a lot of partners. So in the future, we'll also have to be the first one. And how we're going to make this? Please look at our strategy map. Currently, where we are, we're facing the China issue. We have to also issue globally the market issue, and also we're confused about the future. And what we're going to do with our strategy is the first one is called partner enhancement, the second one is market maintenance, the third one is business expansion. How we're going to do this, we're going to illustrate later. And we believe through our strategy, we can't just keep our leading position in the new China business, and also we're going to leading the revolution in the China EPS industry. And secondly, we're going to have maintain our leading position in not only the payment but also the card number, which is desired by the company. And also, with our strategy, we believe we will be the leader in the future revolution of the business model. We're going to create a kind of a blue sea market in the future. So we're going to be the leader all the time, and that's we can just catch the key SFs, and so as to become the leader in the company, in this industry. So I'll just let my partner to give you a further explanation.
Thank you. As we all know that China is a very promising and attractive market for all the industries. Visa and all the car payment is not exclusive from this market. As we all know that China is a promising market and they have some characteristics. First of all, the increasing number of car payments in the last few years has given a very good opportunity for all the banks and also the China's CUP. And also we have a lot of tourists go abroad and go to the other countries like America and also the European countries. They need to pay with the RMB and also with the European currencies, Euro and also the American dollars. And last but not least, China as the largest export-import trade utility in the world, it's very important that a lot of merchants and companies are going to use other countries' currency for their transactions. So from these 3 points, we can see that China is a very promising market for the card payment and also for the Visa. But there's a lot of questions in China, as we already know, that Chinese government is very nervous about other companies from around the world. American has already filed a complaint to the WTO for the EPS industry. And we also know that the foreign companies in China can only do the credit card business, but they have to cooperate with the CUP. And however, even though the Chinese government will allow you to enter this market, they're going to have a lot of regulations and rules that make you cannot have very good benefit and very good profit. And another problem is that they are going to face first competition. We have to mention the CPU, the UnionPay, as we always said, that they are the largest in China and they are state-owned company and funded by our Chinese People Bank, which is the Central Bank of China. So they have a very good advantage. And on the other hand, as we have very bad relationship with the CUP right now, our very good competitor, MasterCard, has already got a very good relationship with CUP, and they are going to be the alternative instead of us for the CUP. Last but not least, we also had other cards and other banks. For example, Citigroup has already been part of China, and they have issued their own credit card. And whether they are our partner or our competitor is going to be a very good question. So next, please. So as I said already, that China is a very good market, has promising market size, and also international interaction with other countries. But we have to face the pressure from the government and the pressure from competition. So first of all, we would like to do a lot of things in order to win the WTO lawsuit and also to see how can we deal with the competition with cooperation with others. Yes. And first of all, about the lawsuits with in the WTO, we said with the WTO dispute, we're going to open the door of Chinese market. So how can we do that? We can, so first of all, we see the whole process of WTO dispute. We can see that initiatively, that you cannot give this lawsuit by the company itself. You have to, with the help of government, and then you have to see the legal basis that is that no less favorable to your competitive countries like US versus America. And also procedures and timeline is a very great pressure on us that 1 year later you have to go over the dispute all over again. So you have to have a very complete issues. So first of all, Visa should never give up on this WTO dispute, and we should try our best to lobby the US government and have our partners to convince other countries like Canada or Brazil or something like to lobby more countries involved in this case. And also we have to tell the Chinese government that we can do a lot of good job for the banking and financing industry in China. And furthermore, yes, please. Furthermore, in order to win, we have to see that our relationship with CUP. As we already know that CUP had a lot of advantages in Chinese market, so we can do a lot of things as well. So we already have a cooperation with CUP. with the core branding cards. But we have the problem that the CUP initially go abroad by themselves and also with our already channels with their corporation. And also the customers now only use their CUP in the core branding cards. So how can we solve the problems? Yes. So first of all, modern cards. So with the cooperation with CUP, we have issued to provide them our advanced technology, our advanced data processing technology, and also our experience abroad. And so with this kind of synergy, they can go abroad with our help, and we can go to China with their help as well. So modern transaction, which means that right now Chinese government is eager for a credit rating system, and we did a very good job, and especially in US. So we can provide this kind of information for the Chinese government in order to tell them that we can do a lot of job for the Chinese financial system as well. And for the customers, we are going to not only provide them the best price, but with our best customer relationships and service. And I'm going to give my colleagues the chance to illustrate how can we do that.
Thank you, Shichen. And now, let me introduce you our second strategy, that is called market maintenance. For the record, even though the Chinese market may not perform well globally, Visa is still the dominant player. So, it is very important to balance the very subtle relationship between the merchants, banks, and cardholders. Currently, Visa is in the dilemma of involving in consequences of lawsuits, saying its interchange fees is not reasonable, like it's charging a little bit higher. But if Visa does not, if Visa just let this happen and lose all these lawsuits, there could be many bad consequences. The possible influences of losing the lawsuits would involve numerous fines, damaged reputations, a series of lawsuits, consequently, and diminishing customer base and narrowed merchant channel, and finally, reluctant bank corporations. So, to avoid this thing, we suggest that Visa take one step in advance to avoid this stuff, like doing some things actively that involve a better refined interchange fees calculation with tactics. And secondly, seek for opportunities to lead global card possession rate. How to do that? Let me further illustrate you. First, aiming to achieve the largest card volume, Visa should apply a flexible charging system globally. And this charging system involves two parts. First one is a lower price. That sounds a little bit tricky because currently it is monopoly in the US market, and globally I can say that. But still, in face of such a dilemma of lawsuits, we suggest that Visa lower its price to avoid coming lawsuit loss and maintain current customer and channels, and lastly, appeal to more cardholders. And secondly, we suggest that Visa build a system with flexible pricing techniques. What are the techniques? They can be pricing according to credit rates, because Visa might have a very complex credit system, and according to this system, we can price the charge differently. And secondly, we can price according to purchasing habits, like according to customer purchasing habits and channel purchasing habits differently. And thirdly, we can suggest Visa to price according to local rules, because different regions might have different politics. And with this tactic, it might acquire better effects. And next, it can set discount rate together with purchasing accumulation. Like the more you purchase, the better discount rate you're gonna have. Or maybe we can reward for loyal merchants, and lastly, alliance with banks. This is for the price. And then let's come to the global leadership that acquires alliance with business partner and potential customers. First, we're gonna build the most convenient channel, that is the largest and the most complete. How to do that? We have to provide better customer experiences, more rapid response time and better turnover, and lastly, a wider distribution channel to allow coverage, like coverage in services and coverage in regions. And secondly, we reach out for customers. We can say distribute cards for free so that they can have customers get possessed of Visa cards. And then we can target niche markets with different plans, like housewives, they might have change plans, and students, they may have tuition plans, whatever. And then we can have global marketing campaign. Like in different countries, we might have different travel plans or something. And then we have to build our image with corporate social responsibility. Like maybe we can build our cars with organ material, and also we can help those developing countries build a better credit system, something. And then finally, we can just claim our client-oriented value, so that might attract more clients.
Thanks, Feng. Since we regard to Visa as a market leader in this business, we would like to enhance our position as continue to be the creative pioneer. So let's look at our current situation first. We are facing very fierce competition, mostly in two different parts. The first one we're facing is an occupied channel. A lot of people are doing those credit card, debit card business, so the competition is quite fierce here. And also we are facing very similar products. The card we use every day, they serve for different functions, but they are very similar in their design and other aspects. So according to those two difficulties, we want to do both the channel expansion and also the product innovation. So we will look at these two aspects in detail. First, we would like to explore more potential cooperation channel. In this aspect, we would like to enhance that. We want to find more cooperations and less direct competitions. Why do we want to do that? First, we want to gain new customers and clients through different distributors and also like credit card using channels. And also, we would like to enhance Visa's reputation. We know that in this industry, the credit card industry, reputation is almost everything. So this is our key point. And in order to do that, we would like to majorly use two strategies. First, we would like to enhance our position in the e-commercial payments. There are two different kinds of e-commercial payments. First one is the US dollar dominated payment. I guess a lot of students nowadays are taking those international exams like GMAT, GRE, or CFA, etc. And all of those payments are required to be in US dollars, and most of them are paid online. So we think that Visa could cooperate more with those institutes to capture those students, potential student customers, because we know in the case Visa is kind of in a competition relationship with CUP in China, but I guess CUP couldn't compete with Visa in this aspect. Also, we would like to enhance Visa's role in the education-related expense area. A lot of students from all over the world go to US or other countries to study, and when they pay like tuition fees and other miscellaneous fees, it is quite inconvenient for them to do it in cash or wire transfer or other payment methods. But we can use our Visa card to provide them a more convenient way. And also, we would like to go into the online payment platforms. Let's take PayPal in China as an example. We know nowadays, like PayPal could link your debit card to its system, and when you like shop online in Amazon in China or other like Taobao in China, you could use PayPal as the platform, but only use the debit card. We want to let Visa to enter PayPal with this credit service because Visa is enjoying a very good reputation, so it can do very well in this aspect. And also, we want to enhance Visa's place in the niche market, such as the prepaid card market. It's not like attracted to the CUP or other players, so it could be a very good chance for Visa to win. Also, we would like to use the integrated account platform and also alternative and convenience payment method to let Visa provide more convenient services to customers. We would like to combine those different bank accounts into one through our Visa platform and let Visa provide the best option to our customer as a way to enhance our market probability and competitiveness. Yeah, and we would like to introduce our timeline and financial.
And due to the time limitation, we're going to introduce briefly here is the timeline for our strategy. We're going to implement the first strategy right away. And then the second one is also doesn't require any capital expenditure, not very big capital expenditure.
I'm sorry, I need to stop you here.
I guess I can do that. First of all, we choose in China, for example, and we choose CUP as a very good cooperator and as a partner. And the CUP have the reach to the local banks, like the big four in China. So we think that we don't have the reach for the countries in Europe and China for the local banks. So most important thing is to find a very good partner like CUP to reach to the local banks. And on the other hand, we would like to use our pricing strategy to attract a lot of local banks instead of to find them by ourselves. It's us to provide the best price that they can reach us, and we have the cardholders with the Visa platform, and the Visa platform can choose which one is the best transaction channels with the local banks, and they can provide the best service and best price for our cardholders. And they're going to introduce a competition between the banks, and also this kind of competition is going to be a very good signal for our customers. So because we have the ones who would like to have a love for Visa, so the banks are going to find out instead of we reach the banks as well.
Oh, me. So I just want to understand your maintenance suggestion, market maintenance, talked about lowering revenues, giving away cards for free, and increasing marketing. But you didn't talk about what the cost impact of that would be. So if you're dropping your revenues and giving away your cards, surely you're going to have an impact on our bottom line.
We would see it in the long term, because currently, even though we avoid a large amount of fines right now, there could be a reduction of cost. We also cut our revenue, right? But in the long term, we see that we've got a larger possession of cars, and we believe that through this action, we're going to have a further maintenance of customers, and eventually, we're going to gain our revenues back.
Are you not at risk, are you not at risk of falling into the same trap that CUP's just fallen into? When you look at the global share of cards is about the same as us, but they've only got 11% of the transaction volume, we've got 38%. So they're obviously pushing out a whole lot of low-value cards, or the cards that aren't being used. Are we running the risk of falling into the same trap?
Well, actually, we don't think so. We believe that the reason why people use Visa, they have a higher payment is because they mainly maybe the US users or the European users, and the holders of the CUP cards are basically maybe the Chinese users. But we have to say that in the long term, the purchase power of the Chinese people is going to increase very rapidly, and that's the main reason why we have to catch them first. Even though we don't have a very big revenue at the moment, but we believe that they're going to buy more abroad, they're going to just have more expense throughout the card. And we believe in the long term, if we just catch the base first, then we're going to enjoy the high revenue in the future.
If I may add on, I would like to say that because we are facing with quite a severe problem right now, and we believe it's not possible for Visa to fight back and to gain a lot of revenue and customers right away. So we are focusing on the long run of Visa's development. So that is why through our implementation and strategies, Visa might lose a little bit of its revenue right now through those implementations, market expansion, and customer attractions. But in the long run, it could gain us by creating more reputation and also customer base and finding other new revenue channels. Thank you.
You touched on supporting the WTO action. What do you believe will be the likely ruling in that action? And what do you think the reaction will be from China? And then will there be retaliation from the US? And how will that affect your business strategy?
In fact, it's a very tricky question. And before that, we have a lot of disputes in WTO, especially between China and US. So key thing is here that we never we see that the visa should never give up this kind of dispute because this is a legal way to open the Chinese market. But the most important thing is that with our strategy 2 and strategy 3, we're going to see that whether we have this market open for us or not legally, we can always bring the customers in China with a partnership with CUP. And the most important thing is to win the heart of the Chinese government to see that we are a good signal for the Chinese financing development in the future. So I think this is the most important thing, that WTO is only a legal way, but there's a lot of business issues we should add on.
Yeah, and if I might add on, actually, the reason why we don't want to give up the WTO fighting is kind of we're just trying to also just like giving more pressure to the government, to the Chinese government, and also the CUP, and it's also part of the way that how we're gonna come into agreement with the cooperation with TOP, because we want this. First, we'll give you some benefit, and also we're just give you pressures. I think it will be helpful in our negotiation.
At a corporate level, that sounds great. At a government level, if you look back in history, there was let's call it a tire war with duties being imposed. Is that likely if the WTO rules against China in this scenario?
And I think the tire war you mentioned before is a very good example, and just a very good lesson actually for both of the countries, that this kind of war is not beneficial for neither party. And so maybe in this case we're just trying to avoid this from happening again. But the negotiation we think is still necessary, and you just mentioned before, some pressure is necessary for the negotiation.
Thank you.
In your presentation, you mentioned the market maintenance. You also mentioned the credit system that you're going to introduce to CUP. Isn't that? So, is this one of your very good weapon to actually to hold on, right, to share with your competitor?
Yes, we have to say that it's a very good weapon, because Chinese government have done a lot of job in building a credit system in China for about at least 10 years. But with the Chinese government failed in it. And first of all, we think that the communication between the Chinese financial industry with the advanced American industry has a lack of the communication between them. And Chinese government have no idea how to build up a very good credit system in the future. So we think it's a very good idea that we are a very good signal for the Chinese financial system, instead of, and so that they will not take us as a competitor to squeeze the market. But we're going to make a bigger cake for the whole industry, and especially for the Chinese government, they would not allow that the foreign companies to go to the other area like debit card or prepaid card, because it's RMB related, and it's the key issues for Chinese government. So we think that debit card is going to be a breakthrough for our company. So the credit system is a key issue for Chinese to build up the credit, to have more people to use the credit card. So in order to introduce the credit ranking system in America, we are going to make the credit card market size bigger.
If I combine the two last questions, you kind of run yourself, sorry, I'll be very quick. You kind of run yourself around in a bit of a circle, because on one hand you want to be the provider of credit ratings and you want to enhance relationships, but at the same time the Chinese government and CUP are going to know that you're the major person, the major company behind the WTO action. So don't you fear that when you try to bring them a credit rating system, China's going to say, go away, you're a troublemaker?
Well, this is a very good question, because it's kind of going to be that every coin has two sides. And the thing is that we're going to tell them the benefit we can bring, and also to tell them that maybe if you are not good to us, something bad is happening. And we also say that what we are going to do behind WTO is actually not the bad thing. We are not a squeeze the market. We are not destroying your financial system. However, we'll help you to build a harmonious society, as Chinese government always mentioned. And we also try to help them to better image in the world. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Students,
Thank you.
catches.
Thank you very much. Thank you.